Hi everyone, this is our story time for the month of May. We're going to be dealing with teeth health. So on the header of our Facebook page, we said how to brush your dog's teeth. So we're going to address that today. So you can do a number of different ways. You can actually use a proper toothbrush. This is a soft bristle toothbrush that we sell. And we also have these finger toothbrushes that you just put on your finger and you take the mixture, which I'm going to give you now, and you can brush your dog's teeth. That's if your dog allows you to put your fingers into their mouth. So the recipe that I would suggest is, and I'll have it up on the screen, it would be 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, preferably cold pressed organic, and then you can add 1 drop of peppermint essential oil if you want the smell for fresh breath. But I don't normally use the peppermint on my dogs because they hate the taste of peppermint. So I normally leave that out. So there is another recipe which we'll have up on the screen talking about if your dogs have teeth gum issues. So if there is bleeding gums, receding gums, there's different recipes that we can give you to help your dog. So we also have for inflammation, we have turmeric. So you can take turmeric, 1 cup, 1.5 cups of filtered water, 1.5 teaspoons of freshly ground black pepper. That activates the turmeric and the curcumin in the turmeric so that it can take inflammation out of the gums, and then 1/2 cup of cold pressed coconut oil. I would even take it one step further and add a teaspoon, if your dog's teeth are bleeding, of activated charcoal. Activated charcoal pulls out any poison that is residing in between the teeth and the gums. So it's very messy. It's a very messy story. You mix it up all into your bowl. You take your toothbrush, or if you don't have a toothbrush, you can take a little piece of gauze, put it into your mixture and rub it on your dog's teeth like that. If your dog does not allow you to put fingers or objects into their mouth, I would suggest that you get some kelp. So kelp, which you would add into their food, if they're a raw-fed dog already. If not, you might have to mix this into a paste, and then you'll also have to put it on their teeth. Now, kelp is high in sodium, so if your dog is on raw, that's fine because there is no salt at all in the food. So a little bit of salt in the kelp will be fantastic. Just as an interesting fact, Dog-A-Bone does have kelp in our formula, so it does already start cleaning the teeth. So kelp is a fantastic teeth cleaner. It's quite abrasive, so it cleans off the tartar buildup on the teeth. All right. So I do also have, for extreme cases and for dog disease, clove, but it's a hot oil, so you would have to dilute it to basically almost 1 drop to 1 cup of coconut oil, and 1 drop of copper, which you would then add to that same mixture for pain management. And that is it helps with abscesses in the mouth, and it can really turn things around. Now, I'm talking from personal experience for myself as a human. I've used this combination on myself, and I have managed to get rid of my tooth abscesses using this combination. So it will work for dogs. Now we're going on to what I feel is the number 1 way to brush your dog's teeth, and that's to feed them healthy, meaty chews. And so I went to the Raw Pet Food conference this year, and it was mind-blowing. We had Dr. Nick Thompson from the UK, who's a holistic vet, he's also an allopathic vet. So it was really a good, insightful talk, and he spoke about bones, feeding dogs bones. Now, I just want to addendum here. It is quite strange to me that from the beginning of time, since dogs have been around, dogs have eaten bones. And it's only been since the 1950s that the veterinary world have gone anti-bone. And yes, I'm very well aware that vets see the worst, but we actually took up studies. We saw case studies after case studies after case studies where people have gone to a vet and they thought there was something inside, but it was a toy, or it was a door handle, or it was brake pads, or it was something that the dogs had ingested, and it wasn't really bone content that had been in the thing. Now, I'm quite happy to have this discussion, and I need to make something extremely clear. We're not talking about cooked bones. We are talking about raw bones. If you feed your dog a cooked bone, it actually changes the molecular structure of the bone, and the bone then becomes brittle and sharp. So it's very dangerous to feed cooked bones to dogs. Everything that I'm talking about is raw, as an animal in nature would actually catch it and eat it. So we're going to be discussing also, you have to feed a bone appropriate to your dog's size. You wouldn't give a tiny or a medium-sized bone to a large dog that he could ingest it and get choke on it. You wouldn't give a medium-sized dog a very small bone where he would, swallow it and choke on it. So it's really, the big problem comes not so much with the small dogs, the very, very small dogs and the very, very big dogs. The problem comes with medium-sized dogs. So we always advocate rather give a larger bone. Now, there is a different levels of which bones to give your dog, because if your dog has never ever had a bone and now you give him a femur, he's not ready for that kind of thing. So this is how we advocate. You can actually start giving some puppies bones from as small as 3 weeks, yes, but you have to educate the dog. Please, everybody, educate the dog. So if you had like a nursery school and your puppy was a nursery school size, we would say give a very meaty, with lots of meat on a raw bone to a dog, to a puppy. And we have the pork bones, which are very meaty bones, also a soft bone, so it's quite a large bone, and the dog can chew on it. And the more meat on it, the better, because it's cushioning on the bone, and the dog would then eat that up. Also, we have beef lungs, which are also, when they defrost it, they become quite spongy. It's also a really good bone, good chew to clean off those plaque in the mouth. So that's what we'd consider a beginner dog. If you go to a primary school level of your dog, we'd say a duck neck or a duck wing, chicken neck or chicken wing. Obviously raw, not cooked. And what's quite interesting, and I'll try and download the video to show you, when a dog eats a bone like that, they'll swap the bone from this side of the mouth to that side of the mouth, from this side of the mouth. So it's cleaning both sides of the jaw simultaneously, well, as they chew on both sides of the mouth. Really interesting to watch how dogs do actually eat the bone like that, the raw bone. And then if you're going up to now high school, early high school for your dog, a good rib bone with lots of meat on it, or a trotter, so like a pig trotter, so with the all raw, of course, and you can even use the vertebra of the animal with lots of meat on it. That would be a good bone to have as an intermediate for a dog. Now, for more advanced chewers, you can move up to multi-directional bones, so joint bones, bones like elbows, collarbone, knees. That's also a really healthy chew. And it's also, what's nice about the doggo bone kneecaps is it's got quite a lot of cartilage on it. Fantastic bone for teeth health, excellent for all things, but not for advanced chews. Alright, now as an advanced chew for advanced dogs, a whole bone, not cut up, a whole bone femur, so a leg bone, is one of the strongest bones there are, because the animal has to carry its weight on the femurs. So when people give marrow bones that are cut up, That's quite dangerous. Not dangerous, but it can cause damage to the teeth because the dog would then get the small bone, put it between the jaw, lock the jaw in that hard bone, and it would crack those teeth, which we obviously don't want. So we would suggest not giving marrow bones that are sliced up. It's not good for the teeth health. But if you can get a nice big femur for an advanced chewer. If you know your dog is a gulper, please be in the room, watch your dog so that they can enjoy the dog, enjoy the bone. It's also, there's multiple studies talking about how dogs stimulate their mind by having something to chew on, figure out where to get the meat. It's a really good way to stimulate dogs' behavior. Also, if you know you've got, say, for example, 2 staffies, you would not create resource aggression. So you would possibly feed 2 dogs separate so they don't swallow the bone. So if the dog is, if you know that there is resource aggression, maybe possibly feed them in 2 separate rooms so you don't get that resource aggression. I am also moving on slightly onto our dehydrated treats. So we've got everything from a soft chew, which is the trachea. It's very soft. It can be broken physically. All our treats are not processed. They're not bleached. They have no preservatives. They have no added salt to preserve them. Nothing like that. So that's why we keep all of our chews in the fridge. And then we have other chews with this fantastic dog and bone range, which are fantastic chews. And a lot of them can actually be eaten by cats as well. So we've got the liver treats, the ostrich gizzards. If you break them small enough, they can be given to cats and dogs. And then also in the Hero Hounds treats, I've taken out 3 choices here that can be given to both cats and dogs. We've got the Northern Sea Sprats, which are fantastic. We've got chicken strips and chicken strips with coriander. Fantastic, can be given to cats, healthy, good chew, which they can also chew. And then we also have venison ears with hair, and we have ears as well without hair. It is better for dogs to have chews with hair because it does. It's when they swallow the venison ear or the beef ear, the lamb's ear with the hair, it actually, all the little hairs that go down the throat, they have a name. I will put it on the screen for you here. It cleans those hairs. So if there's mucus or anything in the digestive tract, it actually removes those blockages, not blockages, but mucus, and it helps it take it through the digestive tract. We do have in the craving nature, we also have an advanced chew, which is a trotter, dehydrated trotter. I say just be careful with the dogs if they are gulpers. This is dehydrated. It changes also the molecular structure of the chew. So be a little bit more careful of dehydrated chews. They also need to be watched. So that is covering dental health for this month. If you guys have any questions, concerns, please, you are more than welcome to give me a call. I have also forgotten to mention we have quail eggs. You can give your dog a quail egg with the shell and all, and it is also a fantastic chew. It's soft, and they can just chew on it. It won't create any sharp blades. I know some people, they do that with normal eggs as well, but it's a lot harder shell, a normal egg. So if you have any questions or concerns, I'm here. Please give me a call. And yes, thank you so much for your time.